goalies need to make sure that they stay with pass. They don't want to try to beat the pass. So one thing that you'll hear very often in goaltending circles from coaches and goalie coaches alike, and even from goalies, is they'll use a term beating the pass. They'll say when a pass is made, you want to beat it, you want to arrive before the puck does. And the idea behind it is if you get there before the puck does, you have more time to get ready for the shot because you're there before it is. So you can position yourself properly and you can wait for the release and then react to it. So that's where the theory comes from. But the problem with it is when you put it into practice, and even if we think about the fundamentals of the position, in the very first classroom, we discussed the positional elements. Angle comes first, body position second, depth third. Well, if a goalie arrives before the puck does, the question now is well, what are they positioning themselves to if they're there before the puck is, right? Are they positioning themselves to the player's stick? Are they positioning themselves to the player's body? Do they position themselves to where they think the puck is going to be going? It's a little bit too ambiguous to know exactly where the goalie should be in those situations. And what ends up happening a lot of times, especially when goalies are sliding, is when they're sliding and they beat the pass, is let's say they're sliding in this picture here, to be sliding from left to right. If they slide left to right and they arrive before the puck does, their momentum is carrying them to the right. And if the player receives it after they arrive, they go against the grain, against their momentum. Now they're out of position and they're moving away from where the puck is actually going. So their save attempt now is very complicated, especially in a situation like this when the puck is going side to middle, because the puck is moving a much longer distance than we are. So it's very easy for us to get ahead of it. So we don't want to beat the pass. We want to stay with the pass. So now it doesn't matter if the player receives it ahead of them, off to the side, off their skate, if there's a bad bounce, whatever the case is, if we stay with the pass, wherever it is that a puck is received from, we're going to be putting ourselves in position to that area, to the puck. There are some situations where, the goalie is going to try to stay with the pass, but the puck is going to get ahead of them because the puck moves faster than we do. And that would be the case too if we try to beat the pass. Sometimes we'll try to beat the pass and the puck is still going to get ahead of us because it moves faster than us. But at the end of the day, even if you stay with it and it gets ahead of you, the good news is the side that the net is still open on is the side you're going to. If the shot gets released in that area, well, at least you're moving into that area. So it simplifies your save attempt. So if you stay with pass, you get two outcomes. Either you'll arrive at the same time the puck does, which is the best outcome, or you'll arrive after the puck, which is not great, but it's not bad either, because at least we're moving the same direction. So we're able to react into our save as we're moving. If we beat the pass, now things are a little bit different, where we might arrive at the same time if we're lucky. We might be behind, but also we're introducing the worst outcome, which is us getting ahead of it. If we get ahead of it and it goes against the grain, we're probably not stopping that puck. So just to minimize risks overall, we might as well just stay with the pass all the time and eliminate the worst of the outcomes. Then when it comes to our save attempt as well, if a goalie, and it's funny because I was on the ice with a goalie on Tuesday morning at a practice, and we were doing a drill that had a mid-ice pass out, and she got caught getting ahead of the puck, and I shot against the grain and beat her. And I asked her, like, well, have you ever been told to beat the pass? And she goes, yes. I said, why? And she goes, well, because I can get in position faster. So we went through the same explanation. But then one thing I mentioned to her as well is she has pretty good hands. But on that shot, there was no reaction. Not only did she get across too fast and went against the grain, but she didn't actually react to the shot release. And the reason why is if you beat the pass, when you're moving, you'll see the goalie's head is going to snap to where they want to go. So they'll be looking at their positional target. They won't be looking at the puck anymore. And when you think about a pass at a one-timer, how long does the puck get to stay on the player's stick for? A split of a second. So if your head beats the pass, you find a player's stick and you push to their stick, for example, and then the puck comes off the player into the stick and off the stick, because they didn't watch the puck all the way in and off, they don't really have visual connection to the puck. And if they don't have visual connection to the puck, they don't have any reactivity on that shot release. So by beating the pass, not only are we guessing where the puck is going to go, we might get lucky, we might not, but we also don't really have the vision that we want to have on the visual connection that we want to have on a puck. So it really not only affects our mobility and our positioning, but it also affects our save execution. By staying with the pass, we're able to watch the puck all the way into the stick and off the stick, which not only gives us better vision and better reactivity, but will give us better positioning. So in pass out situations, one thing that goalies really have to make sure that they do is they want to let the puck, cross their body. So if let's say the goalie's on their post right here, the puck would have to move a fairly long distance before it crosses their body. And once it crosses their body, then they're going to initiate their movement. Because if they leave as soon as the pass leave, then they're automatically ahead of it. So on the post especially, they need to make sure they let that puck cross or set a line before they initiate their movement, so they're able to stay with it the whole way and put themselves in a position to make a save. So as soon as it crosses their body, that's when they will initiate their movement, and that's when they can put themselves in a position to make a save. So the whole idea of beating the pass is something that we hear a lot because it sounds good, right? It has a good sound to it. If you arrive there before the puck does, you have more time to get ready for the shot. But when you really think through it, there's a lot of holes that start showing up when it comes down to just positioning. So it really affects our shot preparation, and then it also affects our save attempt. So if we're able to stay with pass and we're able to eliminate those issues and put ourselves in a better, we're able to put ourselves in a better position, but we're able to react to those shots. If the puck gets ahead of us, especially, we're gonna have more reactivity into our save attempts. Now, one thing that started happening in the goalie world, especially, is some coaches are moving away from the term beating the pass and they're modifying it to the term beating the pass on our feet. So a lot of coaches now understand that if you beat it on your knees and you're sliding, you might get ahead of it and the puck might go against the grain. That's bad. So they'll tell the goalies like, oh, don't beat it on your knees, but when you're on your feet, now you want to beat it. And the problem now, and the reason why they say this is, well, now you're not, it's very hard to over slide a play if you're on your feet because you can just stop yourself, right? But now we go back to having the same issues where if you arrive on your feet and you arrive before the puck does, and the player's got a stick in front, and as they receive the puck, they receive it and they pull it to the side. Well, now we're facing the player's body, right? Or if they're on the side and then they have to pick it off their skate, and whatever the case is, it's the same issues that we run into. It's just masking itself into a different problem. It masks the issue of us getting ahead and getting beat against the grain, but it doesn't mask the issue of us getting off angle when we get our feet set. So irrespective as to whether the goalie's moving on their feet or moving on their knees, we want to make sure that they stay with the pass. And if they're able to stay with the pass, their positioning will always be most optimal. And if they're in an optimal position, they have a better chance at making their saves in those areas. Anything to add there, Justin?
Just again, like the primary focus of any type of lateral play, not just pass outs, any type of lateral when the puck is, we never ever want to beat a pass. As soon as we beat a pass, we're pushing to where we hope the puck goes rather than where it's actually going. And Nick brought up like the processing information of if you're looking at a stick blade that hasn't received the puck yet, and then they receive the puck, you only see it for a split second. So your processing information that you're actually taking in with your vision is actually limited. And that's where you see a lot of goalies flinch as well, because they're looking at a stick blade and then all of a sudden the puck's into it and off, and then they flinch because it's like almost like my son, my 9-year-old son calls it a jump scare. It's almost like a jump scare because the puck goes into stick and off the stick. So the whole idea, again, when we talk about the beating the pass, there's so many negatives when it comes to beating the pass. And in reality, on any lateral play, whether it's from below the goal line or above the goal line, on any lateral play, it's almost better to be behind the pass than ahead of the pass, because if you're behind the pass, you're still on angle. And if you're still on angle, that gives you more time to react. So staying visually connected to the pass gives you a way better foundation of making a save, but it keeps you in better position. And then on top of that, a lot of times when people talk about beating a pass, I actually had a discussion with a guy. I run a camp in Philadelphia every summer with a guy who runs some stuff out there. He works with Anthony Stolars and some pretty good goaltenders. And he was a big pusher of always push to the stick blade. But as soon as you push to a stick blade, how many passes are 100% on the tape all the time? Well, if it hits a stick, if it gets deflected, if it's a bad pass. Well, if I'm a left-handed shot and I'm receiving a puck, and as I'm receiving a puck on my forehand, that puck is in front of me. Well, if I have to reach for it, well, my stick has just moved 3 feet to get to that pass. So originally, your positioning on my stick blade when I wasn't reaching for the puck was towards my body, but as soon as that puck gets deflected or if it's a bad pass and I have to reach for it, that positioning changes by a number of feet. And if it changes by a number of feet, it's taking away from our positioning to make those saves as well. So now we're no longer in better position early, and we can't really see, we're not really washing the puck into the stick and off the stick. So we're having a way harder time being reactive to make the save. So a lot of the concepts when we talk about pass outs and lateral feeds, again, we want to eliminate the idea and even the terms of beat the pass, because it's really, there's no benefit to beat the pass. There's a lot of negatives though that come with it.
Yeah, I just pulled up, I'll present it here. There's a clip that we really like to show just to show the idea of not beating passes, because when you beat the pass now, like Justin said, one thing that some coaches will say is they'll say you need to move to the stick blade. The problem now is there's some players that are so good they're able to take one timers on their back end. So if you push their stick blade and their sticks in front of them, but then they move their stick to the side to take a one timer, well, on the angle completely change. And it was interesting because we'd been discussing this for a few years now, but never really got to see this theoretical play that we were talking about happened live, and then finally it happened and we caught it. I'm sure it's happened before, but it just happened to be one of those plays that we finally caught it. It's like, there it is. So I'll just press play here so everybody can see it.
Looking, trying to feed it towards it and score! Ivan Barbashev on the backhand! No, little pass to Mantha and then a great pass. Mantha just...
And the interesting part, yeah. And the interesting part is as he's skating, you can see his stick now is in front of him. It's like that's where he wants the pass to go, right? So if you're beating the pass as a goalie and you move to the stick, but now next thing you know is as soon as the puck comes his way, now it turns into a one-timer on the back end. Well, now you're no longer in a position. So stick's in front, but now the stick comes a little bit more forward and the angle changes. So it's one of those things where if we're able to stay with the pass in those types of situations, it doesn't matter where the player picks it up on their forehand or if they pick it up on their backhand, we will always be in positional situation. Or worse comes to worse, we're on our way to put ourselves in a position so at least the puck, if it goes to our lead side, we can react into it. If it goes against the grain, well, sweet, we're on our way there. We're already positioning as a grain. We can make that save fairly easily.